Hey everybody, it is Skylar once again in my car. I am doing another pregnancy update. Today I am 33 weeks, one day, I think. Sorry about the sun, I'll get out of it in just a second. But I'm actually doing the 32-week update because I get on a roll and then I get behind. So I'm just kind of like doing what I can. But anyway, if you're already subscribed, thank you so much. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and join us on our journey to becoming a family of 5. I have 2 kids already. We have a little girl and a little boy, and we are pregnant with our 3rd child, who is a little girl. Like I said, this is a 32-week pregnancy update, although I am already 33 weeks. But I'm going to be talking about the, side effects / symptoms, I never know what to call it, of being 32 weeks pregnant and some things that happened last week. And then answering a couple questions from the comments. If I missed your question, I'm sorry. I try to get to questions. I try to reply, type reply whenever I can. It's just so hard right now. I watched Brianna Kay's pregnancy update for her, I think it was 33 weeks, a couple of days ago on Instagram, and I just am right there with her. She talked about how she was so tired, and it just seemed like she felt like her whole body was falling apart, and she has a lot of different symptoms than I do, and a lot of kind of strange symptoms, and so I'm fortunate to not have the symptoms that she does, but I am just so exhausted. I don't know if you can tell, but my hair is just roll out of bed. I am pretty much just natural right now. I still have old makeup from yesterday running down my eyeballs. So if you see a bunch of people and they look perfect and they're in their 8th month of pregnancy or 9th month of pregnancy, or even their first couple months whenever they're so sick all the time, if they look perfect, I promise, you don't have to look like that. Don't feel like you have to look like that. Don't feel like you have to have it all together, because most people, in fact, I feel like no one actually does. So that's something that I really try to be transparent about, is the fact that I do not have it all together. Yes, I try. I'm sorry about the sun. I can't really help it. I try a lot to make sure the house stays picked up, the dishes stay done, the laundry stays done, dinner gets cooked before I leave for work, because I have to work at night a lot. And so I leave at 4:30 and don't get back until 10 sometimes, and I just miss dinner altogether. And my husband has to figure out what to make, and he's not really a cook. He's not really a planner or a meal planner, and it's hard for him to multitask with kids, dinner, baths, whatever needs to be done. And it's just going to get worse the older that they get, because when they have homework and things like that, because both of them are in preschool right now, but when they have homework, when they go to kindergarten, 1st grade, whatever, grade school, then it's just going to get worse and worse, and it's going to be harder and harder. So I try to make things easier on him by going ahead and have dinner made and in the refrigerator or in the crock pot warming, or the Instant Pot or whatever, so that he doesn't have to worry about one more thing, it's just one less thing to have to worry about. And I would like for someone to do that for me, so I try to do that whenever I can, but that does not always work out. And most of the time I have to sacrifice something else. Whenever I have dinner ready in the crock pot or whatever, most of the time I have to sacrifice something else, because I just don't have the energy right now, which sometimes I do, but most of the time right now, especially in the last few weeks, I have not had the energy to just do everything. And that's okay. Don't feel like you have to do it all. Something that does bother me here lately is that I literally have no energy. The past about 5 days to a week, I've had no energy. Absolutely none. Just so tired, feel like I need to lay down all the time, feel like I need to nap every chance that I can get, not really sleeping that well. And I sleep, but it doesn't feel like I've slept. And then, like, if I don't get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night one time, then, which I'm lucky to not have to go like 4 times. Some people do have to go like 4 times per night whenever they're this far along. But if I don't go, then I'm about to like pee in my pants by the time that I wake up. So I do have to wake up for that. I have had a lot of like hip pain and stuff and back pain whenever I'm sleeping or whenever I'm trying to sleep, that wakes me up and that prevents me from actually going to sleep. So I feel like I wake up pretty often, even if I don't like realize that I'm like really awake, that I'm just like tossing and turning, trying to get comfortable, or getting kicked everywhere. And it's getting to where the kicks are like really painful. And it's just like moving, like a knee or a foot or something just moving across, and it's like really painful. I mean, and I'm just out of breath because I just feel like, you know, she's like kicking me really hard right now. And she just stretches, like, I don't know what she's pushing out, but she just stretches and it hurts. Feels like my skin cannot stretch anymore. Like she's about to pop a hole in my uterus and my stomach, and her foot's gonna be sticking out. Like, seriously, that's what it feels like. What was I even saying? I don't remember. This is a weird stoplight, so I always get really distracted whenever I'm trying to, or always get really focused in on this stoplight whenever I'm trying to turn, because they're doing road work here, and it's like, it just looks terrible. There's so many uneven lanes. I don't know if you heard the bumps, but like, it looks, and it's awful. It's awful to drive. Anyway, we were talking about sleeping. So, I feel like I sleep, but then I wake up a few times, and when I wake up in the morning, I just feel like I can't wake up, and I didn't really actually sleep very often, or very good. So I feel like I need to nap all the time. I feel like I need to lay down all the time. I've had the swelling in my hands and feet and ankles has gotten quite a bit worse. I won't say like a lot worse, but it has gotten quite a bit worse. So sometimes, like, I'm not wearing my wedding ring, and I had to take off my, like, I have a wedding band and an engagement ring, and I had to take off my engagement ring in like month 7 because oh my gosh, my stomach is contracting because I had so much swelling, and I was worried that my ring was going to get stuck on my finger, which actually happened to me in my first pregnancy whenever my daughter was born in the middle of summer, and I swelled a lot. It was a lot worse though. So I had to take that off, and I just left it off because I just can't wear it. My hand swells up a little bit, and then it's like, it feels like it's going to get stuck on there, and I'm going to have to like cut it off or something. But my wedding band, I have not been wearing it the past few days because at nighttime, I don't know if you can even like see this. I'm about to go around a curve, so but at nighttime, my stomach hurts. I start swelling more. I don't know if it's like the water weight or like the sodium throughout the day, or me just being like up and moving around for most of the day and need to lay down or whatever, or be horizontal in some way. But it's getting to the point where it's starting to feel like it's going to get stuck on my finger too, and it seems like it's a little bit more like loosely fitting than my engagement ring, so I can wear it for longer. But I think I showed you in my last video. You're probably not going to be able to see it. There's like a line on my finger. Stupid son. There's like a line on my finger where my ring normally is because it's so tight, and I haven't worn it for a couple of days. It's just sitting there because I can't. And it makes me really sad. I'm always like, messing with it, and it's not even there. So it's just the way that I've always, I've just with my thumb, I just kind of like play with it, but it's not there, so it makes me sad. Anyway, so a couple of the questions, I don't know if I'm ever going to get out of the sun, to be honest with you. A couple of the, oh, there it goes. Questions that I had, one person asked, how much weight have you gained, and do you have stretch marks, and if so, where are they, what are you using on them? And if you asked a question and I did not answer you, I'm sorry, but I totally just like didn't see it or forgot about it. But I remembered this one because I just saw it before I started doing this video. I just looked at it again. So I don't know exactly how much weight I've gained. I was like 150 something whenever I got pregnant, and I'm almost 5'7", so I don't know if that was overweight or not to begin with, but I had definitely gained some weight since my last, like, I lost a lot of weight since my last pregnancy, and then I gained some of it back. My weight in high school was like 135, so it was like a 20-pound-ish difference between what I was in high school, which, of course, when your body changes as much as it does during pregnancy and childbirth, it's like almost impossible to keep the same weight that you had in high school, especially if you're a woman, and even if you're a man. When you get older and your metabolism slows, it's really hard. So that's like a false expectation for me to expect myself to be 135 or whatever, 132. Whenever I'm 5'7" and my bone structure is normal, I'm not like super petite, I'm just normal, average, like size 6 to 8 jeans, fluctuating weight, but anyway, so I was like 150 something whenever I started the pregnancy, and my last doctor's appointment, I had gained quite a bit of weight. I'd gained 8 pounds in 3 weeks because I had 2 baby showers in one weekend that were for me. One was a surprise, and one was one of them that I had planned, and there was a lot of, there was cupcakes at both. I ate like 1, maybe 2 cupcakes, and then at the other one that was a surprise, it was like a mommy shower, so they got like all of the stuff that they thought would make me happy, like Epsom salt bath stuff. They got me, I think I talked about this before, but a lot of different things, like self-care things, and then also there was a lot of candy, chocolate, and snacks, because they had wanted to give me like things that I'd been craving, and I said something about chocolate, and they got me like all different kinds of chocolate. So I had eaten a lot of chocolate, a lot of cupcakes, and just not necessarily like indulged, but it was a lot more than normal. And when I went to my doctor's appointment, and this was like a week and a half ago, the doctor was like, have you been eating very healthy lately? And I'm like, no, not this weekend, no, I have not. And he's like, oh, I can tell. Like, he was laughing about it. But my doctor is very like pro healthy eating, pro walking, pro exercise during pregnancy, and sometimes that's not realistic. Like, sometimes you just have to eat what you're craving, or you're just going to eat around your craving and actually eat more calories and more sugar than you would have eaten to begin with. So I just kind of try to like not have an excuse to eat whatever I want whenever I'm pregnant necessarily, but if I'm craving something really bad, I'm not going to deny myself that. So plus, this was a gift. Like, I really just wanted to like self-care with myself, like eat the chocolate that I had been given, and eat a cupcake or 2 at the baby shower that was for me. Like, it would be rude for me to not eat a cupcake, So anyway, I had gained like 8 pounds in 3 weeks, and the scale said 190, and I was like, oh my gosh. But they had also told me that they thought that their scale weighed heavier than the normal like at-home scales, because a lot of people will comment and say, oh, 190, that's not what I weigh at home, so I don't know if that was like accurate or not, but I don't know what's going on up here. There's some weird, like, I'm going like 2 miles an hour, and I don't know what's going on or why. Anyway, so I really don't know exactly how many pounds I've gained, because the scale is weird there, they said, and I was like, I may have even weighed 160 on their scale, so like around 30, maybe 35 pounds is what I've gained, which is a lot, but I gained a lot with every pregnancy because I have giant babies. Like my child is probably already 5 or 6 pounds. My daughter, whenever she was born at 39 weeks, I believe 5 days, she was 10 pounds 1 ounce. And then my son was born at 38 weeks on the dot, and he was 9 pounds 3 ounces already at 38 weeks. So a lot of that is baby, placenta, amniotic fluid, water weight, swelling, things like that. My husband just drove by. He's going to work. I'm coming home from the grocery store. I got a grocery pickup order. But anyway, so the answer to your question, I don't know how much weight I've gained. I think it's like 30, something like that. Stretch marks, yes, I have had some stretch marks, mainly on my hips and a little bit on my upper thigh, and then right on the top of my stomach, like above my belly button, but not very much. My genetics, like they say, a lot of your stretch marks comes from like your genetics. Like, did your mom have stretch marks whenever she was pregnant with you, or siblings? And yes, my mom got a lot of stretch marks whenever she was pregnant with me and my siblings. And so I have been trying to prevent them by using any sort of like cocoa and shea or cocoa butter or lotion at all. There's like, I don't remember the exact brand, but it's like Mrs. Queen or something, like something Queen brand. It's a little bit cheaper than Palmer's from Walmart that I've been using. And I started out with Palmer's because I just knew that that would work and that I wouldn't be allergic to it because I have really sensitive skin. But I like have gone back and forth between Palmer's and this other brand, but it's cocoa butter and it has like shea butter or whatever it's called also in it. And so I do that as often as I can. Probably once or twice a day, just depending on, the day, or did I just get out of the shower, or did I take the shower the night before, or like, whatever. But I have noticed that it seems like that using that has prevented a lot of it. I don't know why these people are on the other side of the road. Like, I just don't understand. What in the world? Just turn. Anyway, I feel like using that has prevented a lot of the stretch marks that I could have gotten, because I got a lot of stretch marks whenever I was pregnant with my first child, which of course my skin had never stretched that much, and she was my biggest baby. Unless this baby winds up being 10 pounds, then she'll just be normal. But so got a lot of stretch marks then. Didn't use the cocoa butter as often then because I was lazy. So I think that made it worse and made the stretch marks like a lot easier to get. But yeah, I think that's what their question was. I think that's all it was. But I also wanted to mention this. So Sunday, 2 days ago, I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. And I say that because I had contractions. They say when you're like this far along, but still not full term, if you're having contractions, more than 4 contractions per hour for like 1 to however many hours, then go to the hospital or call your OB. Just because they want to make sure very early, if it's preterm labor, then they catch it, because they don't want to have to, like, your water break and then you have to deliver, because the baby is still not full term, still developing, the lungs are still developing. The baby could be like pretty jaundiced, which indicates like a liver issue. And so they want to make sure they catch it if you do happen to like go into preterm labor and it cannot be stopped. So the earlier that you catch it, the more likely it is that it will be able to be stopped. The more likely it is that your water won't break, because you have to deliver, I think it's within 24 hours after your water breaks. Or it is like a major infection issue or, you know, something. I don't know how a baby could even breathe with no fluid in there. I don't know. Maybe it gets its oxygen through the placenta. I have no idea. Anyway, I had like 4 to 6 contractions every hour. And it was like, it started out like 4, and then it was 5, and then it was 6, and then it went down. And then it just kind of like went away. And then I'd have like 1 contraction every 30 minutes or 1 contraction per hour after that. So I was a little bit concerned, and I told my husband, like, we might have to go to the hospital. I don't know that I'm like in labor, but because it wasn't super painful. Some of them were just like, oh, it feels tight, but some of them were kind of painful because they were a little bit more intense. And I had some back pain too, like with them. So I was like, this is kind of weird. But I had heard that my body will like know what it's supposed to be doing, since I've already been pregnant 2 other times, and that I also may have an irritable uterus anyway. So I was trying not to worry about it, but I sat there for like 3 hours, and they kept coming, and then they eventually kind of like simmered out. So I don't know if I should have gone to the hospital at that point, but I had no bleeding, no fluid leakage, no like major pain. So it was probably just an irritable uterus, or maybe I was dehydrated. But I switched positions. I drank a bunch of water during that time. There's somebody here. No, that was super weird. I think it was a plane or something. My dog was even like, what is that? Anyway, drinking water. I sat there for a little bit in a chair and elevated my feet, and then that didn't help, so I started like walking around a little bit, and that kind of helped, I think. But I don't know if that's normal or not. I do remember my last pregnancy with my son, around 33 or 34 weeks, I did have what I thought was pretty consistent contractions every like 5 minutes for about an hour. But whenever I went to the hospital, they said they didn't pick up any contractions. So I don't know if they were just Braxton Hicks or if it was irritable uterus and it wasn't actual contractions. But I had to be put on muscle relaxers so that they would stop, because they were so uncomfortable and irritating, and that's all I could think about. And I couldn't even like get up, stand up and wash the dishes, or like lean over or pee or anything, or it would cause these whatever they were, like uterine tightening or contractions or whatever they were. I don't really know why the hospital could like put on the fetal monitor on your stomach and like they can't pick up these whatever they are. I thought they were contractions, so they felt like. But so it may have been something like that. I don't know. But I've been watching and making sure, trying to time them and make sure they're not actually consistent, because I've had a few that's like exactly like, and they're not like 3 minutes apart at this point, although I have had a couple, but I did have a few yesterday. It was like exactly 14 minutes and some seconds, but 14 minutes on the dot, even though the seconds varied, like multiple contractions in a row. So it was kind of weird, but drank some water, switched positions, and they went away. So I don't know if I'm just going to be dealing with this for the rest of my pregnancy, or if it's my body trying to go into labor early, even if that means that it's just kind of trying to dilate, and then maybe I'll go into labor at like 36, 37, 38 weeks. I don't know. I do want to start doing baby watch videos at some point. I'm thinking like 35, 36 weeks. I'm not exactly sure if I can commit to daily videos because I'm so tired. It might just be like really boring. Like vlog style videos, but really boring because I just like can't function. But I would like to do that. I told my husband that he needs to be in them, and he's like, why? I don't want to be like online like where everybody can see me. And I'm like, this is not just for the public, this is for us to remember, and I want to know like your input and like what you think about things and things like that. So watch out for those. I might be doing those, even if they're not every day. So I got home, and I said something about doing the groceries. I was on my way home with the groceries, and I put all the groceries away and started making a list of things that I need to do today, and have started having contractions like every 3 to 5 minutes. But I really just feel like they're not strong enough to really mean anything. They kind of feel like they might be the same kind of contraction like I was telling you about whenever I had, when I was pregnant with my son last time. Whenever they just felt like they were irritability and they weren't picked up on the monitor at the hospital. Some of them are strong, but most of them are they just feel like a little bit of tightening and that's it. But they last for like a minute. The tightening lasts for like a minute. My back hurts during, so I don't really know. I just had to stop and time another one because it was like every 3 minutes now. So, and I just said something about they weren't like every 3 minutes like 2 seconds ago in the other portion of the video that I'd recorded before I got inside and did the groceries. So I drank like a whole bottle of water and sat down for a little bit, and then they started, and it was super weird. But I don't know if I can do, I'm like just trying to lay down because I just don't know what else to do. I don't know if I can do like a belly shot from here. This is the best I can do today, y'all. I might just be in bed for the rest of the day. So, I look like I'm 500 pounds. 500 pounds. Oh, it's just so heavy. It's so heavy. I feel like every time that I stand up, my belly just like feels like there's so much gravity pulling it down that it hurts to just stand up. And we're only 33 weeks now. This is the 32-week update, of course, but we're only 33 weeks. And I kind of feel like this with every pregnancy where it starts getting really hard around this time, and then it's just like, how can it get any harder? And then it just gets harder and harder and harder. Which, like I always say, I'm super thankful to be pregnant. I'm super thankful to be able to conceive and have a healthy child. However, it is real life. This is how pregnancy is. Especially the more that you've had, the more painful it seems to be. My doctor even said that, like, you're probably going to have a lot more aches and pains this time because your ligaments and things are already stretched. Your uterus has already been stretched. And it already, like, it's old, basically. Like, it's been used, it's all stretched out and saggy, and now it's old. And when there's any kind of strain put on it, it's just, like, fighting to stay afloat, pretty much. So, anyway, I will try to keep an update of what's been going on with these weird, I don't know if you'd even call them contractions or like irritability, uterine irritability. I'll try to keep an update of that, but I might just be laying in bed all day just because I have to work tonight and I just feel so crappy today. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening this long. I'll see you next time.